It's good to have you join us on Nationwide on Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Henry John. Welcome. As Nigerians celebrate Easter to commemorate the resurrection and death of Jesus Christ, guests on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, have urged them to apply their spirituality to daily life so as to create harmony, peace and progress among its diverse citizens. Ololade Alayaki reports.
Amidst the celebration of Easter, while Christians and non-Christians are sharing in the joy of the moment, the clergy have continued to urge Nigerians not to lose the essence of the sacrifice that Jesus made for the world. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria discussed spirituality and nation building, where they submitted that it is possible for a nation or community to be religious, but fail to apply spirituality in their conduct, particularly when it comes to serving others.
That's what we need. That your life finds fulfillment when you serve others, when you love others, when you forgive others, when you have mercy for others. That's all you need.
The Quran is telling us always to give right to the people, their own rights. And when we say they give everyone his right, that means we are building the nation.
The guest noted that Nigeria's challenges cannot be overcome if the virtues of honesty, selflessness, patriotism, tolerance and value for human life are not adopted by adherents of all religions, especially at times like this.
We should now start inch by inch to fight for the right things, to go to work on time, to do the things we are supposed to do, to stand for integrity, to stand for virtue. And it is not easy. That's why the language of sacrifice is important.
Sacrifice in the genuine spiritual sense for anybody who is thinking of salvation boils down to letting go of activities, actions, thoughts, and things that diminish your spirituality.
They also emphasize the need for spiritual leaders to always speak the truth and de-emphasize materialism in their sermons. In Abuja, Ololade Alayaki, NTA News.
The lessons of the Easter celebration is another opportunity for Nigerians to promote good neighborliness and selfless service to the nation. This was demonstrated at an interdenominational service of songs in Abuja to commemorate the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Timothy Yusuf reports that the event was organized by the Mountain of Fire Ministry.
The Velodrome of the National Stadium played host to this gathering of the faithful from different churches in Abuja. The organizers said the event is to further raise a national altar of praise in committing the nation in God's hand, giving the importance of praise.
All Christians that love Jesus Christ to celebrate, to come together as one and celebrate the love of Jesus Christ. That is what the praise storm is all about.
There is deliverance through praises, and that is the essence of this praise storm. Because when you praise God, you can as well receive deliverance even without prayer.
The praise storm is expected to hold annually in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has emphasized the need for officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force to continue to maintain vigilance and high sense of professionalism in the course of discharging their constitutional responsibilities. He stated this in Yola while hosting officers of the 153 bays to an Easter celebration to commemorate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Simon Asher reports.
The Easter luncheon, which is the tradition of the Chief of Air Staff to wine and dine with officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force during festive periods like this, is no doubt a moral booster to the officers. To this end, the Chief of Air Staff, represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Emmanuel Oche, was at the 153 base Yola to make merry, thereby giving the officers a sense of belonging as they mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ at the cross of Calvary. He enjoined them not to rest on their oars, but to remain disciplined force and exhibit high sense of professionalism at all times.
These get-togethers also foster comradeship and give us the opportunity to commend ourselves for our efforts in the fight against the insurgency.
This is no doubt a great encouragement to the men in battle. Additionally, it further shows the priority of the Chief of the Air Staff towards personnel motivation.
The occasion also provides the avenue for the officers to familiarize with one another. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
And still in the spirit of the Easter celebration, women of Zion of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Province 1, have extended a hand of fellowship to residents of Sabo Ido along Airport Road, Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday brings us details.
Sabo Ido is one of the new settlements in the suburb of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Despite its proximity to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, the community lacks potable water and most of the residents rely on water vendors, popularly known as Meirua, just like Timi Ajama, a public servant.
Everybody needs the water. Like this guy, I have to go down there, look for him, then bring him down to my house. It's not easy for us.
The challenge being faced by Timi Ajama and other residents is now a thing of the past, with the handover of the borehole provided by the women of Zion, who are on a mission to give a helping hand.
I was called upon recently that they have provided for my people clean drinking water. We are indeed grateful.
It be a source of relief. Because being in a place where there is no water is just like living in a dead town.
So it's not for Christians, it's not for Muslims, it's for all. Jesus came for the whole world.
This water from the fountain of living waters, from Jesus himself, we begin to flush out all diseases, infirmities, infections that they have here before.
The outreach, which also featured evangelism, exhortation, basic medical checkup, was to extend the love of Christ to the residents, which is the reason for the season.
They are giving us for free of charge. Sometimes my BP, my mind will just be doing ping, will just be going up. So when I came now, they say my BP is high, and I really believe it.
The outreach is one of the programs of the Women of Zion to propagate the gospel. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Many thanks, Adebola. And away from Easter celebration now, Islamic organizations have been admonished to unite as one in the propagation of true Islamic knowledge for the benefit of the society. Chief Imam of Ofa, Sheikh Muhyiddin Hussein, gave the charge at the National Triennial Conference of Zumratul Islamiyya Society of Nigeria, held in Ilorin. Kendi Omolosho has the details.
Advising Islamic societies on the benefits of oneness, Chief Imam of Ofa, Muhyiddin Hussein, said Allah is one. As such, adherents of the religion should come together as one. While congratulating President Muhammadu Buhari on his re-election at the polls, he advised him to harness the nation's resources in order to eradicate poverty in the country. The Chief Imam advised all to be good to their neighbors and contribute to the development of the country. National President of the Society, Mutiu Danjuma, said their activities include scholarship to indigent students, building of schools and mosques, reaching out to motherless babies' homes and prisons, and a proposed university. Members of the society were also at the government house, where they prayed for a smooth transition in the state. They also had a walk through some major parts of the metropolis and election of officers to pilot the affairs of the society. Founded in 1927, Zumratul Islamiyya Society of Nigeria emphasizes education as the hallmark for societal development. Kendi Omolosho, NTA News.
And from Ilorin, we head to Lagos, where we hear that 3rd Mainland Bridge is safe for use. Michael will bring us details. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Iri, and welcome to Lagos. The need for road users to comply with all traffic signs and regulations and avoid excessive speed during and after Easter celebration has been re-emphasized. Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State Command, Hygienius Omeji, in an interview with NTA News, said adequate personnel have been deployed to ensure safety on the roads. Abola Desalami reports.
The improved road network access with installation of road traffic signs on major roads designed to serve as precautionary measures to all road users and most times ignored by drivers. As the Easter holiday comes to an end, with major highways recording high vehicular movements, what is expected of all road users at this period and after the celebration?
About two vehicles driving in opposite direction. What is it about? What is it there to celebrate about our peculiarities? That we are lawless? That we are indisciplined? Is that our peculiarities? No. I think it is high time we just talk to ourselves. People should behave, adults should behave like adults. The only way we can have sanity on our roads is that we need to obey traffic rules and regulations.
The body saddled with the responsibility of ensuring safety of commuters on the road stressed the need for all motoring community not to overspeed.
The presence of our men there, together with the ambulances and tow trucks, to promptly remove any broken down vehicle. The whole essence is that people should be able to travel for the Easter and back without necessarily sleeping on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road.
The sector commander assured that officers of the Corps will remain professional in all their dealings. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
A colloquium on good governance in the country is asking Nigerians to see the fight against corruption as a collective one. A professor of economics at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Abayomi Adebayo, led other discussants in the call for a decisive action in the interest of the nation. Within the first quarter of 2019, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it has secured 194 convictions of corruption cases. This, observers say, is an indication that the quest to end corruption in the country is receiving a boost. Professor Adebayo explained that more successes will be recorded with sustained efforts, not only by government and anti-corruption agencies, but by all Nigerians who are committed to the country.
It's a problem that is rooted in the way we perceive government thing. Nigerians today see government as gateway to wealth. So many times what people spend purchasing 100 naira could be 10 million naira. That's what we have been doing in Nigeria.
The chairman of Koshofel local government, Babatunde Shofola, commended the steps taken by President Muhammadu Buhari to lift Nigerians out of poverty, explaining that economic indices are encouraging for willing investors.
We must, however, commend the efforts of this administration, as led by Muhammadu Buhari, for the bold steps taken so far to eliminate corruption, to provide stimulus to small and medium-scale enterprises through provision of soft loans. With this, I firmly believe we are on the right track of exiting poverty and raising the standard of living of our people.
Issues relating to economic diversification and accountability in governance were also discussed. We now have the story on the third mainland bridge, where the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos State, Engineer Adedamola Kuti, has reaffirmed the position of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing that the third mainland bridge is safe for use by the motoring public. Dotun Ogunyomi has details.
This widely circulated video on social media shows a shaking expansion joint on the third mainland bridge. However, the concern raised on the integrity of the bridge has been laid to rest by the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, declaring that the bridge is safe.
This is the exact spot that was highlighted in the trending video, but there is nothing to worry about, as officials of the ministry say they are working to make the replacement of the joint soon. While this is being awaited, other repair works such as the resurfacing of the bridge as well as the underwater investigation of piles are being done. Now, the question is the third mainland bridge safe?
Third mainland bridge is safe, we are on it, and what people have seen is just the expansion joint that is not in good shape, which we discovered since last year. And the displacement is just about 1 cm, and we are going to do that. It's part of our work.
Members of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers also came on an assessment of the spot and called for regular maintenance on all public infrastructure.
In 2008, they had done about 4. He told us in 2012 we had done about 8 of them. This time around, they are going to be maintaining about 12 expansion joints. And we're expecting that at the end of this, all these undulations will not be felt anymore. But
the ministry says it is frontally addressing the issue of maintenance across several bridges nationwide. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. The news continues after the break. Please stay with us.
Marketing of broadcast media products requires special skills which can only be acquired through training and experience. NTA TV College Jos is therefore organizing an intensive 3-week course on modern trends in broadcast media marketing. The course will equip participants with necessary skills to deal with contemporary marketing challenges and competition in the broadcast media. It is an essential course for marketers in the broadcast media to sharpen their skills and improve their capacities. Date 23rd April to 10th May 2019. Venue NTA Television College Refuge Jos. Course fee 100,000 naira per participant, accommodation inclusive. For more inquiries, please contact us on 0803 314-4383 or 0806 980 9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710 Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Glad to have you back. And now talking politics, more than 30 political parties are participating in the forthcoming local government council elections in Zamfara State. This came to the fore at a stakeholders meeting convened by the State Independent National Electoral Commission, preparatory to the conduct of the polls scheduled for next Saturday. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission (ZASEC) is empowered by law to conduct local government councils elections in the state after every 3 years. Accordingly, the commission has issued guidelines for the conduct of the elections scheduled for 27th April 2019. The stakeholders meeting convened by the commission was hence aimed at formally digesting the guidelines and to request for their support in its quest to conduct peaceful and acceptable polls.
The commission, in the same way, conduct recruitment, training, and posting of ad hoc staff, as well as conveyance of election materials to the zonal headquarters, local governments, and ward headquarters for onward distribution to polling units or voting points at appropriate time ahead of the election.
Governor Abdulaziz Yari, represented by the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Alhaji Bello Dankandagamji, said the commission has been provided with all what is required to conduct the elections.
The state government is going to operate in the state, inshallah, will be able to possible to see that the election is going to be conducted in a peaceful atmosphere despite the security challenges we are facing in the state.
The meeting gives room for the participants to deliberate on how best to ensure the conduct of the polls as scheduled. Local government councils elections in Zamfara State were last conducted in January 2016. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Moving on, the federal government is to come up with a policy that will address misconception on the use of modern biotechnology to enhance the nation's food security. Ministry of Science and Technology is to draft the policy in collaboration with relevant agencies, including the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
Nigeria is gradually embracing biotechnology to enhance our national food production to cushion the effects of environmental factors occasioned by climate change. Scientists are of the view that biotechnology could be the panacea against the use of chemicals to improve yields and control pests and diseases.
Our faculties of agriculture, faculties of veterinary medicine, the whole national agricultural research system, we believe strongly in the powers of biotechnology to significantly contribute to the development of agriculture in this country.
There are, however, misconceptions on the use of the technology, with some environmental activists kicking against the use of the innovation. It is in the light of these that the Ministry of Science and Technology says establishing National Biotechnology Communication Policy will go a long way in addressing the misconceptions.
The federal government of Nigeria has embraced modern biotechnology, and it is here for good. We will continue to engage with the media to inform the public about scientific innovations going on in this sector.
I challenge you media men today.
And this workshop, organized for journalists, especially agriculture, science and environment correspondent, is to further educate them on how to handle issues surrounding the use of biotechnology.
Not just giving out information, but educating people, giving people knowledge. It's actually very factual, scientific facts.
The training is under the auspices of Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
In other news, renewable energy development can make remarkable impact in Nigeria if the bottom-up approach, which involves indigenous community control, is adopted. These are the views of solar energy experts in Ontario, Canada, who believe strongly in the power of renewable energy cooperatives at the grassroots in Africa. Let's get details from Joy Osiago.
From an adaptation point of view, if we are going to a world that is going to be more chaotic in terms of weather, then we also need to move away from a centralized grid system to a distributed grid. And a distributed grid means that you're going to have communities more involved.
To maximize the economic benefits and public endorsement for clean energy sources like wind and solar, community participation and ownership is imperative, as observed by Ontario solar advocates like Matt Zipkin.
And we've seen that here in southern Ontario with wind, so not with solar as much. The reason why they're able to do it is because the people actually want it. Because even though their electricity prices may be going up, they're still actually getting a paycheck, a return, because they're invested in it. And so without having that community investment, you get a lot of pushback.
While developed economies like Germany and Denmark have made tremendous progress with the community involvement and ownership, Lisa Olke is pushing for more African countries like Nigeria to get the communities involved in renewable energy projects, as they create a multitude of benefits in comparison to commercially developed projects.
And solar energy doesn't require a huge infrastructure. You don't need transmission lines. You don't need transformers. In Ontario and in Canada, as well as North America, we see Africa as a very, very large emerging market. And there's a lot of interested companies in the industry that are looking for financial opportunities that they can create large-scale solar.
Renewable energy enthusiasts in Ontario strongly believe that when the strategies for inclusive economic development are situated within a framework grounded in the traditional values of the people and community investment, countries like Nigeria can overcome the obstacles standing between the people and wealth. In Ontario, Canada, Joy Usiago, NTA News.
And back home, Caleb in Jos has details of NEMA's assessment visit to windstorm-devastated Bokos communities. It's over to you, Caleb.
Thank you so much and welcome to Jos. After the devastating effects of the windstorm in parts of Mangu and Bokos, local government areas of Plateau State, victims are still struggling to put together what is left of their lives. Renred Sylvanus Lord has an update on the situation with NEMA's visit to the affected areas.
The recent windstorm in Bokos and Mangu ravaged various communities, leaving houses, schools, animals, and economic trees in a sorry state.
This community behind me is called Angwankwano, and as you can see, for them it's a sad tale of loss and woes.
For Agnes Johanna and other victims, it is a hard blow, as all was lost in the storm.
Since it happened, I came every day to clear what is left and cook, and at night look for a place to sleep.
With what has happened, any form of help from the government will do.
In a bid to exercise its mandate of bringing relief to victims of such disasters, NEMA and SEMA were at some of the affected areas where they assured of their support.
Many people lost their houses, as a result of this windstorm. And we are believing that the agency, NEMA, will assist these communities, because the farmers or the communities, they will not be able to cope with the situation.
According to investigations, the storm, which began at 2 p.m. in both places, destroyed about 87 houses in Mangu, over 50 in Bokos, with 21 injured and 4 deaths. Renred Sylvanus Lot, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency Plateau State has flagged off a North Central Zonal Awareness Program to enlighten the public on critical public policies and programs that are beneficial to the people. Bilkisu Nuhu tells us more.
Gathered here are youths, men and women from different strata of life, with the sole aim of being sensitized on the need for change in the society. With the team, Driving Change Through Public Policies and Programs, the State Director, Bulus David, says the programs and policies of government are not for office holders, but for the larger society.
Public policies are known to the citizens, then they will be able to participate in it. It is only when you know about these programs and activities that you will also be able to make your contribution.
Secretary to the Plateau State Government, Richard Tuckman, said the program is vital as it will reposition such policies. Various speakers took time to educate the participants on CBN policy, social investment program, drug abuse, and how to shun corruption.
Don't take your time in fighting corruption. Corruption will fight back. Its cost act as a discouragement.
We need to support those parents who are poor and children do not have food before going to school.
We have gone on to introduce other programs, the latest being the Anchor Borrowers Program.
Some of the participants commended NOA for taking the bold step as it has opened their eyes to so many issues. It is the general consensus that citizen participation is key in the implementation of the policies and programs. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
The need to make the media a strategic partner in achieving and improving on civil-military relations cannot be overlooked. Zonal Director, NTA Jos Network Center, Peter Ochigbo, stressed the point when he led NTA management on a visit to the General Officer commanding 3 Division Nigerian Army in Rukuba. Renred Sylvanus Lord has details.
Led by the Zonal Director, NTA Network Center, Jos, Peter Ochigbo, the visit was to further reinforce an already existing relationship between the 3DIV and the Network Center. Mr. Ochigbo, while highlighting areas where 3DIV can enjoy collaborations with the center, craved the indulgence of the GOC in areas of logistics.
I want to first of all
appreciate the synergy that is going on between the GOC and the officers and the civilian, the civil-military relation. That has gone a long way to calm the nerves of the people.
The GOC 3 Div Major General Nuhu Angbazo said NTA has carved a niche for itself in the heart of the Div, especially in its unbiased reportage. He also assured the ZD and his management staff of collaboration in its activities.
We now use media, we use areas of civil-military cooperation and establishment of some projects. Hope we can touch the minds and the hearts of the citizens. So you are a major strategic partner.
It was an interactive session where both organizations further bonded with each other. From the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment Rukuba, Rinred Silvanus Lot, NTA News.
We'll pause for another break here, and thereafter Nationwide continues. Thank you.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first, get it fresh.
Welcome back. Public-spirited Nigerians have been urged to always remember the less privileged in society by assisting them maturely and financially beyond the festive periods. The Deputy Governor-elect Ogun State, Nohimot Salako Oyedele, made this known while celebrating Easter with some less privileged homes in Abeokuta. The report.
The visit of the Deputy Governor-elect to less privileged homes in Abeokuta on Easter Monday is to identify and celebrate with them, while extending love as others share in the joy of the season. Accompanied by Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, wife of the governor-elect, the incoming Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Oyedele donated foodstuffs, beverages and toiletries to lepers colony at Iberekodo and the Gideon Orphanage, Ashero, Abeokuta. The Deputy Governor-elect reassured the less privileged and those with special needs in the state of adequate care and support under the APC-led administration of Prince Dakpo Abiodun.
I think well-meaning Nigerians should join this spirit at celebration times, festival times, and even all year round. Let's look out for each other. Let's make sure that nobody feels left behind. This is one of the ways that we want to make our state bigger and better, and let's build our future together.
Beneficiaries are full of gratitude for the donation and for remembering them as part of the society.
Nigerians should focus on love. We should focus more on loving each other. We should focus on forget about buyback things.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed shock and sadness over the terrible attacks in several churches and hotels in Sri Lanka on the holy day of Easter. This is contained in a press release signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, which extends deepest condolences to the families of those killed in the attacks and prayers for speedy recovery for the injured on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria. Noting that Nigeria stands with the people of Sri Lanka at this terrible moment, President Buhari urged the authorities not to spare the wicked elements behind these mischievous attacks. Following renewed joint military offensive in northern Borno, the Boko Haram terrorist group is being restricted to the island of the Lake Chad. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said this while on Easter, an operational visit to troops visiting the Boko Haram in northern Borno. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
These are Chadian troops, Sector 2 of the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF. Alongside their Nigerian counterpart, Sector 3, the Tactical Mobile Fighting Formation recently killed 39 Boko Haram terrorists in Cross-Kawa, northern Borno, and liberated people abducted, mostly women and children.
With the joint effort of Multinational Joint Task Force and national operations of all the countries involved, you discover that Boko Haram is now lurking mostly around the borders, especially in the dangerous and inaccessible areas of the Tumbus, the islands. And the best way to undo this is to have concentration of forces.
This is the Easter festive period, and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, is here to felicitate with troops in the front line, commend their effective collaboration with the Chadian troops and efforts in keeping the terrorists at bay. Addressing special forces in Cross-Kawa Headquarters Sector 2 and troops of the 142 Battalion Mungunu, Lieutenant General Buratai charged them to sustain the current offensive posture.
We must never, ever allow the reverse to be the case again. Now we are on the offensive. We should never be withdrawn back to defensive. The Chief of Army Staff, Nigeria as a whole, appreciate you, and they are doing all possible to liaise with the political leadership to make sure the requirements we are lacking are provided.
He also visited the sick and wounded at the Sector 3 Medical Services, Mungunu. The Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, with headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, is a combination of mostly troops from the Lake Chad Basin member nations from Kuka local government area of Borno State. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And stay with security. Following credible intelligence, troops of Operation Harbin Konama 3 attacked and killed 6 bandits in Kirisa and Sunke in Anka local government area of Zamfara state. A statement by the acting Army Public Relations, Colonel Sergei Musa, indicates that several arms and motorcycles were recovered during clearance operation. Similarly, in Doka and Motu villages in Gusau local government area of Zamfara state, troops on patrol had an encounter with bandits, leading to the arrest of 18 suspected informants to the bandits, including the village heads of Doka and Mutu. The first commander, Major General Hakim Oladipo Otiki, reiterated the resolve of troops to tackle banditry and other forms of criminality in Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina and Sokoto states. He enjoined members of the public to cooperate with security agencies in providing information that will assist in addressing criminal activities in the states. Moving on, the governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Iyari, has charged the Nigerian Air Force not to be deterred by the allegation of collateral damage leveled against its personnel by the State Council of Chiefs. This was during a courtesy visit by members of an investigative panel set up by NAF to look into allegations of civilian deaths during air missions. Jamilu Ibrahim brings us details.
Panel constituted by the Nigerian Air Force headquarters is in Zamfara State in response to the recent allegation by the State Council of Chiefs that some innocent civilians were shelled and killed during the airstrike component of the ongoing military operations in the state. The 7-man panel, led by Air Vice Marshal Idi Lubo, along with the commander of the Nigerian Air Force 207 Quick Response Group Gusau, Squadron Leader Thomas Akimbohun, met with Governor Abdulaziz Iyari and the chairman of the State Council of Chiefs, Alhaji Tahiru Muhammad Ahmad, amongst other stakeholders.
As far as concerned and head of government, I haven't anything wrong with the activities of Air Force. So therefore, anybody who wants to say anything, he should go and say outside and say it. Errors occur in the course of duty.
We are commending Nigeria Air Force. What has happened as a mistake. Information released by our councils as a press statement. It's not intended to discredit the Nigerian Air Force.
The interaction, which the panel described as very fruitful, was largely conducted behind closed doors.
It has been resolved. There is some kind of
understanding, there will be some press release, I believe, from all that we have seen.
In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And from Zamfara, we move to Port Harcourt, where Dibabari is standing by for more reports.
Good evening, Inria, and welcome to Port Harcourt. For heat-free exercise in the second phase of the Ogoni Cleanup project, the Minister of Environment, Suleiman Hassan, has embarked on sensitization visit to Eleme Council area, where he assured the people that potable water will soon flow in Ogoni land. Robinson Dertaide has the details.
It was a stakeholders town hall meeting building synergy among key stakeholders, particularly the youths, ahead of the second phase of the Ogoni cleanup project. The Ministry of Environment, through the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project (IPREP), announced a collaboration with the Rivers State Ministry of Water Resources to access existing water facilities, as well as for the installation of new water projects in Ogoni land.
The process for the provision of World Health Organization standard water has reached an advanced stage.
It's true that there is provision for local participation, but you have to meet certain standards so you participate in this project.
Stakeholders and political leaders express confidence in the genuineness of the federal government to deliver the job, since the first phase of the work is in progress at Ogale, Aleto, and Okpajo communities.
You must show any lucrative instigation for you to make trouble.
The team was conducted around ongoing projects in Eleme area. From Eleme River State, Robinson Derataide, NTA News.
Coalition of INEC accredited election observers in the 2019 general elections in Rivers State has called on winners and losers to close ranks and reposition for good governance and development of the state. Gave the advice while making public its observations and recommendations in the just concluded elections in Rivers State. Again, Robinson Derataide has details.
Representatives of more than 15 observer groups led by the chairman of Nigerian Vote Count Campaign, Emmanuel Nkweke, took note of few cases of reader malfunctioning, discrepancies by electoral and returning officers in some areas, as well as the much-tainted militarization of the process. They commended INEC for bracing to deliver under intense pressure while urging the Commission to improve on the observed lapses in subsequent elections.
Accredited election observers in Rivers State, having observed the election, is pleased to make our public statement that the election started in good faith, in spite of the effort by misguided politicians to scuttle the electionary process.
The observers are of the view that with the elections over, victors and losers should concern themselves with the bigger picture, peace and development in the state.
Rivers State is so fragile, we are sensitive to the economic and socio-political development of this country called Nigeria. Therefore, every other party that have failed should bury their hatchet and see how they can move the state forward.
According to the group, incidents of vote buying were minimal, while cases of underage voting, fake result sheets did not surface. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derataide, NTA News.
Corps members in Rivers State have been charged to be diligent and committed to the ideals of the service at their places of primary assignments. The charge was given at the NYSC passing out ceremony, which signaled the end of the 2019 Batch A orientation program held at Nowagbam, Tide local government area. The report. The 3 weeks orientation course took the corpus through various activities to prepare them for the task of national service. Governor Nyesom Wike represented Special Duties Bureau. Dr. George Wike encouraged the corps members to be diligent in service while pursuing the objectives of the program.
As we move into the various communities of Rivers State today, for your primary assignment, I charge you to put in your best to ensure that the generality of the people of Rivers State have their positive impact.
River State NYSC Coordinator Chiwendu Chukwu urged corps members to sustain the spirit of team and hard work in their places of primary assignments.
I charge you therefore, gentlemen corps members, to accept your postings in good faith and work very hard wherever you are posted to uphold the use of the NYSC scheme.
The corps members will be deployed to the 23 council areas of the state in line with NYSC management's posting policy. And as our bid from Port Harcourt is back to Abuja for the rest of Nationwide. Good evening.
Many thanks, Diba Bari. In its continued effort to reduce illiteracy and meet the educational needs of the illiterate class in the country, government will establish literacy centers in all the 104 federal government colleges in the country. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Sani Echana, stated this at the launch of Pilot Literacy Center at Federal Government College, Benue State, one center out of the 6 to be established in the political zones of the country. The pilot, that is starting with about 20 federal government colleges, is targeting non-literate cadre workers such as matrons, cooks, watchmen, drivers, cleaners, gardeners, as well as other people within the host communities of the federal government colleges. The channel said to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals SDG 4, which is ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all, the need to consider this group of people. Moving on, we shall take a commercial break now. When we return, more stories.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first, get it fresh.
Good to have you back. Presidential Committee on Lake Chad Flags of Road Project, Mohammed in Maiduguri Network Center, has details. Hello, Mohammed.
Henry, thank you. Compliments of the season and welcome to Maiduguri. Christians have been reminded on the need to reflect on the teachings of Jesus Christ on tolerance, love, and forgiveness, which have accorded everlasting life to humanity. These and many more form part of Easter message preached at the 2019 annual Easter Interdenominational Rally held at EYN Wulari in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Jadwa John Jessene reports.
The EYN Church Wulari was filled to capacity as over 8,000 Christian brethren from various denominations came together to celebrate the resurrection and ascension of Jesus Christ. The annual Easter Monday rally also serves as a unifying service for Christians across Borno. Guest speaker Reverend Abel Ikeji, in a sermon titled The Glory of His Ascension, noted that the resurrection of Jesus Christ has verified the salvation of man from sin, as well as heavenly inheritance and everlasting life after death.
The resurrection of Christ is known as the greatest miracle of the ages.
Christian faithfuls were also reminded to exhibit good morals in their day-to-day activities so as to attract more of God's love, mercies, and grace. The congregation prayed for peace, unity, and harmony to prevail in the state, Nigeria, and the world at large.
Unity service for believers across denominations to come together as brothers and sisters to commemorate the death, the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
This enormous gathering here signifies the unity and salvation we share in the resurrection and ascension of Jesus Christ. In Maiduguri, Jadwa John Jason, NTA News.
Thank you, Jadwa. Presidential Committee on the Resettlement of Nigerians affected by decision of the International Court of Justice on the Lake Chad region has commenced rehabilitation work on the Maiduguri-Mafa-Dikwa Road, expected to be completed in 41 days. Chairman of the committee, Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima, flagged off the rehabilitation work in Mafa town at a ceremony attended by Director General, National Boundary Commission, Adamu Adaji, and other committee members. Mohammed Goni reports.
The Presidential Resettlement Committee was set up in 2002 to resettle Nigerians affected by the decision of the International Court of Justice. The committee had executed the first phase of the resettlement projects along the fringes of Lake Chad with construction of residential houses, market stalls and 5-kilometer road at Alib Sherimti and other communities where the affected citizens in the Lake Chad region were resettled. However, second phase of the resettlement project could not commence due to security challenges in the Lake Chad region, hence the decision to use the fund to rehabilitate Maiduguri-Mafa-Dikwa Road. Chairman of the committee, Governor Kashim Shettima, lauded the decision of the Presidential Resettlement Committee.
This road is the most important road in Nigeria. It will open up the hinterland. It will make life a lot much easier for our people.
The governor also announced that the state government will establish asphalt plant in Dikwa to fast-track the rehabilitation work. The governor commended the Nigerian Army for providing the much-needed security backup to ensure realization of the project. Director General of the National Boundary Commission, Adamu Adaji, said the federal government has also approved construction of 800 million litre arch dam for the benefit of the communities. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The former Zonal Director, NTA Maiduguri Network Center, Lawal Umar Lalu, has described successes recorded by the station during his 2.5 years in Borno to staff dedication and commitment to duty. Lawal Umar Lalu stated this during a general meeting with staff of NTA Maiduguri to bid them farewell after successfully completing 35 years of service in the NTA. Miamuna Garba reports.
Lawal Umar Lalu had, on assumption of office, brought about a lot of transformation that repositioned the station for the better to include staff welfare and conducive environment for service, among other infrastructural development. Under his influence, Borno State government assisted NTA Maiduguri through the procurement of UPS, generator and fencing of the organization. Alhaji Lawal Umar Lalu, while commending the staff for their unalloyed support and cooperation, which enabled him succeed, also enjoined them to extend same to the new ZD.
I consider NTA Maiduguri to be my best station because of what we have achieved. The understanding between the management and the staff, the relationship, good rapport between the organization, the state government and the people.
The new zonal director, NTA Maiduguri Network Center, Ibrahim Ladan Yusuf, assured to continue the good work of moving NTA to greater heights from where his predecessor stopped.
The name NTA Maiduguri Network Center is a serious affair. Your name has reached far and wide. So my appeal to members of staff is to continue to sustain that tempo.
A birthday cake was presented to the outgoing ZD to celebrate his 60th birthday, which coincided with his retirement. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
That will be all from this end. It's back to Yenri in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. Reports just reaching us from Gombe says the Easter Monday was celebrated in low-key following a tragic incident that led to the death of 13 people. A vehicle is said to have run into a group of boys' brigade on Easter procession in the state capital. Details will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. And now talking sports, the 2019 African Nations Beach Volleyball Cup Seniors serves off in Abuja as Nigeria Curling Federation unveils equipment in Lagos. Olumide Eguntola has these and more on Sports Update.